What's up, guys? We are back here today with a Nintendo Direct prediction video. We got Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. What's up, man?
What up? How's it going, Brandon?
Not too bad, not too bad. So, a lot of rumors about a Nintendo Direct next week. We usually get a January Direct, and it's our big one for like the next 6 months or whatever for the year. So, what's your thoughts on some predictions for Direct? If we get one, that is.
Yeah, I think we'll get one. Usually we get one in the first month or so, it feels like. Because, you're entering a new year. It's you're entering first quarter of 2023. So you kind of got that first, at the very least, you usually get one for like the first half of the year, at least until you get
Yeah,
the E3 Direct. Kind of like,
right.
hey, we enter this new year. This is kind of everything that we're doing. So, I kind of had some ideas. Nothing like for sure. I think for sure, I think you would agree. We're probably going to hear something about the new not Breath of the Wild, but the new Legend of Zelda, the Tears of the Kingdom. I assume
Yeah,
we're going to hear something, even if it's a new trailer.
yeah,
Just
yeah. I'm thinking probably new trailer.
maybe
We
some
covered the
gameplay.
rumors. Yeah, some gameplay. We've gotten like so little about it. Like we really don't know a lot about it outside it's running on the same engine. It's obviously going to be super similar, but we covered the OLED Switch variant, the Zelda
Yeah,
edition. So you might see that.
because I think it's you're coming in within 3 4 months. I don't remember the exact date of it coming out. So I don't think we probably get another big direct before E3 before the game comes out. So that's
Right.
why I assume we'd probably hear something more unless they want to have a month before they're going to do an actual Legend of Zelda direct
Right.
specifically for that game. But I would assume we'd hear probably something since we haven't heard anything in like 3 months at this point from when they dropped the last trailer. If I'm not like misremembering, back in the fall of 2022.
Yeah, it was round fall. Yeah, I think we'll possibly get that. They could do the like mini direct just showing Zelda stuff before. Like they've done that for Pokemon. I think they did like a what was it? There was something maybe a mini direct for like Pikmin 3 or something. A while back. Like they've done a
Maybe.
few of those.
I'm not
So
sure. Pikmin 3 came out a
it's
while ago, so
yeah, it's been a while. They've been doing these for almost 10 years at this point. So yeah, I think probably just another trailer for Zelda. There's not much more they're going to show us before the game's coming out like so soon. So I
so
think that's a safe one.
so do you think on that we might hear more definitive if we're gonna hear something about the rumors about the Zelda Switch, the Switch that when we talked about it, where it's like the actual Zelda cover for the dock and the handheld and stuff like that. I think we would hear something at this direct if they're going to announce it. It would be this direct.
Yeah, yeah, I think this one. I mean, it's not even like a huge thing. I guess it kind of is because we haven't gotten like a Zelda themed Switch. Like we always get those for everything. Even the Wii U, the only thing it got was a Zelda themed Wii U. We never got like a variant.
Yeah,
So I think that that's a safe bet. It also looked very legitimate. We generally thought it was probably real.
because if it
Um,
exists, they would have already been in the manufacturing stages at this point.
oh
So
yeah, yeah, yeah. They're probably almost done, ready to go. So I would say that. Another one is probably going to be. I feel like they're going to do another Mario Sports title. There's not a whole lot left they could do. I think it would either be like Mario Hoops or Mario Sluggers. I don't think they would go back to doing football. So I'm thinking more on the end of Mario Sluggers because it's like there's like a little cult following behind that
yeah,
Mario Sports title in particular, and everybody wants to see that. So I think that's a safe bet. Maybe a Mario Sports title. Nothing huge, but a new Sluggers game could be pretty big.
because those games usually aren't big games, but they've been pumping out like the past. We gotten a few in the past few years, so it would make sense that we get another
Yeah,
potentially could get another Mario Sports game for sure. I personally would like
yeah,
a Sluggers over a basketball, but that's just experience playing it like on the GameCube as a kid. So
right. Yeah, I'd be cool with either one. I don't know how much I care. I haven't even picked up the Mario Strikers yet, so which I was actually legitimately excited about. I just haven't picked it up.
I bought it and I
There's not
played it
enough
when it.
time.
I bought it and played it when it first came out, but I haven't touched it in like 3 months at this point. So
Might see an update for that too. They haven't put out like very many updates or anything for that. I think another safe one is probably some Scarlet and Violet deal. I feel like that could be
like, hey, in the next six it would make sense they would announce it here in a few months. It's coming out probably sometime spring, summer. Their first DLC for the game. It would make sense. Got to keep the
Yeah,
hype up for that game moving forward as well. But you don't want it to be like too far away where people are like, I beat it, I've already dropped it, and I haven't played it in forever. I mean, maybe
yeah,
they've
'cause even
people have
hitting
kind of
like
been there, but you don't want to have too much time to die off before you like drop
right.
DLC. Got to keep the hype going.
Yeah, because even looking at even if it were to come out like early February, that's already 4 months post.
Yeah,
So I think that if seeing something maybe like March for DLC, I think it's a pretty safe bet.
I think it's
Um,
possible on the early end. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, I think that probably see that. I think that maybe it's so hard to say for sure.
I
I
think we're
don't
gonna
think that we're.
I think we're gonna get DLC for sure.
Oh
After,
yeah, no
especially
doubt
after
about
Sword and
that.
Shield, but it's just a matter of when we're gonna hear about it and when it's gonna come out. Like that's more of a timeline thing than it's for sure gonna come. It's just when.
Yeah, I think the other thing with that is like we're getting so many Pokemon games now, and it's been like said that we're getting at least one a year. Obviously, isn't just mainline. I don't know what you would consider Arceus. It's a spinoff, but I think that we will eventually see something else. It might just be the DLC, but I think that also um, it would make sense. Will they do it? It's hard to say. A Metroid Prime trilogy announcement is something we both want to see, but
I've
it's
been wanting this for like 4 years. I've been hearing rumors about it for 4 years. I'm like, if it exists, or when are we ever gonna hear it? Like, I've given up. I'm like, until I legit see Nintendo talk about it. I've long since started like ignore the rumors with Metroid Prime 4 and the trilogy on the Switch.
yeah.
I mean, we know for sure Prime 4 is coming. It's just a matter of when it's gonna come. Will it come in 2023? Might it come when they release the sequel to whatever the Switch would be at this point?
Right.
And I would assume if the trilogy exists, it would be released within 6 to 12 months of Prime 4 coming out. Which at that point,
Right.
then I would feel like you're probably around the same timeline of when the Switch sequel would come out because you're hearing rumors. It's about that time to at least potentially hear something within the next year or so.
Yeah, I think even an announcement at the end of this month for the trilogy, it could still be coming out 6 months later. So like
Yeah,
usually they're direct in January's covering the first 6 months of the year. But the exception is that with like Tears of the Kingdom, they announced that way ahead of time. They did that with Trilogy as well, but there have been January announcements where they announced something coming out in like November, but we get so little details about it.
yeah,
So I think it's a possibility. It would make sense for them to do that because I
yeah.
think 6 months later for Trilogy,
But to be
well,
fair,
6 months after that,
Zelda's like one of their biggest properties, one of their top two properties, and they've always, for whatever reason, with Zelda, they will always announce the games early on, and then you just
yeah,
kind of have to sit and wait, and then the games always end up delayed. But I feel like Nintendo only does that with Zelda. It's a weird thing.
yeah, I can't. I think you're probably right. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head. I mean, to be fair, there was like a teaser trailer for Dread on the DS. Like there was a teaser trailer that was put out for that, and
And
we're
then
looking
it
at what
went through
20 years
development
later.
hell and probably got restarted like three times through development.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's a safe bet with Trilogy, especially, and the main reason for that is Dread sold so well that it makes sense for them to do that. There's also no immediate access to Metroid Prime 1 through 3. Most people that have a Switch don't have a Wii or GameCube. That's just they don't. Like
It's
most people that
old.
have a
Those are
Switch
old
just have a
consoles.
Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they need to bring that to the forefront because you're looking at 3 mainline games, not even counting the spin-offs. Like counting those at all, you got 3 mainline games that are very story driven. You need that story for to play for. Like, sure, they're going to design it where you don't have to have played it. That makes sense. It'll sell,
Yeah,
and like,
because the Prime series is technically it falls within the canon without actually interfering with the canon, so you could probably do something like that. But it would feel like they'd want to continue sometime after the Prime 3 game as far as within that timeline of games.
yeah,
And they
yeah,
all these years ago they left off Prime 3 with the teaser for the next game, and then we don't. It's been so long. Who knows what they're even planning to do at this point? Whether they're going to continue with the original plan, or they're going to do something completely different.
be really cool if they tagged on Metroid Prime Hunters and Pinball onto that collection. I'd be pretty happy about that.
It'd be
Um,
nice. Those would probably take the hunters would be take probably the most work to port at this point.
I mean,
but
you
I think
could
it's
play
possible.
DS games on the Virtual Console and the Wii, so I don't know how hard it would be. Yeah, who
You
knows?
talk about Nintendo, so some of their decisions don't make sense.
Exactly. You got any other predictions?
Nah, I think we might see something more along the lines of maybe get some more information maybe about the Mario movie, potentially some teasing, but I'm not really expecting that. I think we're kind of at the
Yeah,
point
with
where
that,
the movie's going to come out as is, but nothing
I don't know how
immediately.
much more they could show on that either.
We
With
might get more
you know,
confirmation or some more trailers for some other games they've already announced that we know that are coming out in the first half of 2023, but might see some few indie games. There might be a surprise in there somewhere. Uh,
yeah, I think seeing
hit
some
or
more
miss.
stuff about Hollow Knight Silk Song is probably a safe bet. Um, the hard thing is with predicting this is that you're running off a lot of rumors, and also Nintendo like brings up games that like nobody was thinking about. I think that outside of that stuff that's confirmed, I think we'll see a release date for Advance War. Been done. It was supposed to release September or something, and the game's
If
finished.
you want a
So
wild prediction, we're getting a new Kid Icarus announcement. That's my wild prediction. That's probably not going to
I
come
would,
true.
I would love that. I would love that
A
so
game
much.
that's been, for the most part, dead for the last 2 decades.
Uprising is a fantastic game. Yeah, it'd be cool to see a sequel to that. What there has been a rumor of getting like a remaster of that game for the Switch. Like that was a legitimate thing that like Sakurai talked about. Like it was something he wanted to do, and
Yeah,
that's been years ago at this point. So that'd be pretty cool. I could I could see that happening. That was a online multiplayer. It's still online. Like it had a lot to offer. So I think that those are some of the safe bets. There's always stuff mixed in, but I don't got anything else. So.
I haven't delved into the deep pool of not Switch, but Nintendo Direct predictions. So I might be
Right.
missing some of the other stuff that people have been talking about. But for the most part, most people care about some of the big announcements that we've been waiting for years to hear that we kind of have rumored or we kind of know to some degree that it's been in development. So
Yeah, I think we'll get a remake of Kung Fu from the NES. So with that said, give us a like, subscribe, comment. Links will be down below. We'll check you later.